What I'm talking about tonight is not only the missing pages of African history, but some of the missing pages of the history of the world. After the decline of the Roman Empire, forced by the rise of Islam and the pushing of the Europeans out of North Africa and the Mediterranean, more than 1,000 years of history got neglected from the history of the world. When African genius in state building began to decline in the Nile Valley, African genius in state building was reborn in the Niger River. And another great river civilization was born. This great river civilization have been left out of history. Entire history books, even history of Africa, has been written with this great river civilization left out. Left out because people are stupid enough to call this Black Africa. Never use the word Black Africa, not because Africans are not black. Black is an honorable word. There's nothing basically wrong with it. But because it presupposes that there is a legitimate white Africa. There is no legitimate white Africa. And so somebody says Black Africa, ask them what other kind of Africa legitimately is that? You never say white Europe, and you never say wet rain. What other kind of rain is there other than wet rain? That's redundant. It's just like saying blue sky, blue sky. All right. My main point here is that when you look at the genius of Africa, that genius, once it declines in one place, is reborn in another place. And when you look at the continents of the world, and look at the people in the world, nearly all civilizations are born near great rivers. When you look at Africa, and look at the civilizations of Africa, first the civilization of the Nile River, then the Niger River, then the Volta River, then the Congo River, then again on the east is the Limpopo and the Zambezi River. You go to China, China is the Yangtze River. Go to Europe, it is the Danube River and the Volta River. Go to England, it is the Thames River. Every time you go to a continent and look at and look for the beginning of a civilization and the beginning of a great city and a commerce, you find the river and the city on the river. Now we are examining a great civilization in Africa that had its birth after Egypt. To some extent, it is as old as Egypt, but it came to the attention of the world after Egypt. And to some extent, it benefited from the aftermath of Egypt. This is Nile Valley civilization that had its birth and flourished after Egypt. It is also a civilization whose people benefited from a river civilization that flourished in the green Sahara before it became a desert.